And we're back.
We are so back. Okay.
We are so back.
Before we start, just a quick announcement, some exciting news. We actually got reached out to by a studio after we posted our last episode, and they have decided to sign us.
Yes. So now not only do we have salaries, but we actually have a yearly budget in order to make this show as great as we possibly can make it.
And you bet your ass, the first thing that we did was pay for a super awesome animated intro and for an original theme song. It was really, really expensive, but it was super worth it.
Yeah, let's roll our super cool intro right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. That's the producer that we just started. Hey, Johnson. Yeah. Yeah, we're actually recording right now. Yeah. Oh, about our intro. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I totally. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Great. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Bye-bye. So, yeah, we just got fired. Yeah. Yep. You know the budget for the year they gave us?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we spent that all on the intro.
Okay. Can we can we still show it then?
No, they've claimed it and they're going to turn it into a tax write-off, so we can't show it ever legally,
Fuck. Oh, they Batgirled us then.
They just Batgirled us. I can't believe we got Batgirled.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sucks. Anyway, well, for the topics for this show, we're going to be talking about
a lot of topics. A lot of topics. Yeah,
yeah.
We actually got them right here.
Well, let's not spoil all of them. Just some of them.
I'll give you some sneak peeks. We got Deadpool and Wolverine. We got Captain America 4 reshoots. We got Venom 3, a new trailer dropped. And the rest will keep anonymous.
But before we get into any of those topics, a little moment to talk about someone who has recently passed away, a YouTuber named Comic Storian. Now, Johnny, you actually have more experience with Comic Storian than I do.
A little bit. I have seen a couple of his videos. I watched his Ultimate Spider-Man video, which was actually so I had already read the comic run, right? And then I wanted to re-experience it, but the comic run was like 120 issues, probably longer. I didn't want to reread all of it. So I just watched, his video, and he put a lot of he's just a great, really dramatic voice actor.
So what is he reads the comic book?
Yeah, pretty much. And then he'll give insight into or explain things that happen that maybe an audience is confused on. He's just really knowledgeable, really in depth about his takes. He doesn't pick and choose comics. He pretty much covers as many as he can. He's I don't know. He was just a really interesting dude. And I didn't watch too many of his videos, but I was always subscribed because I knew that if there was a video around that I was interested in, I knew he would have the best version of it, an explained video or something like that. So
yeah, he was a lot of people's gateway into comic books and just superhero culture in general. So
yeah,
he will really be missed by his family, friends, and fans.
Yeah, just condolences to him. So,
well, so the first topic that I'd like to talk about is actually I have part of the pitch that Grant Morrison gave to Marvel Comics for his 2001 relaunch.
Gotcha.
And I'd like to read some of this, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on what Grant Morrison's talking about.
Okay.
Grant Morrison uses they them pronouns, and we're gonna do our best to adhere to that. But forgive us if we
flub up here and there. Yeah.
So just some context before I read this. This is right off the back of the 2000 X-Men movie, and they were, as we've said in our last episode, they were trying to synergize.
Yeah. Our favorite word, as we've expressed.
So they really wanted to take some of what people loved about the movie and bring it into the comic. And this is what Grant Morrison wrote.
Came up with, yeah. Gotcha.
In this thing, okay. In the way that Claremont and Byrne did in the 80s and Jim Lee did in the 90s, we need to make the book cool, all caps, again.
Ooh, okay.
The movie has already done most of the work for us, and there are millions, all caps, of new potential readers out there for the taking, including the women who slavered over Hugh Jackman and who should be able to pick up this, all caps, book and get the same sexy thrills from the comic book characters.
Sexy.
So no more blue and yellow spandex and Batman helmet. Why does Wolverine wear a helmet in the same shape as his hair anyway? It just looks fucking stupid.
All the people who love those costumes are pushing pencils now at fucking AutoZone, you know?
We have to stop talking to the shrinking fan audience and re-engage the attention of the mainstream.
Yeah, let's not make our shit better. Let's make, let's tap into what everyone likes, which is Matrix.
For the fans that have loved it for the past 20, 30 years.
Exactly. Fuck those guys.
We have to stop talking to the shrinking fan audience. I said this. Longtime fans will read the book and bitch about it no matter what. All caps.
Yeah.
We need to attract them. We don't need to attract them. We need to make the book accessible to the real world audience. Gotcha. We need to get X-Men and Marvel Comics in the news again, in the cool magazines, and on TV.
That's how it's done, you know?
What do you think of that?
I fucking think that's stupid.
I mean,
it sounds like out of touch people with ties, like.
Yeah. I mean, they got what they wanted, because after this, in the Morrison run, they're all in like leather jackets and stuff. So I mean,
it worked.
No more Batman helmets, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really don't like this. The women who slavered over Hugh Jackman. It's just like they're not gonna watch. They're not gonna pick up a comic book.
No one wants to fucking read. This is what I don't understand. This is what producers don't understand about comics. No one likes reading. So people who watch the movie won't give a fuck about the comic. They're just they're not going to care. Some people will. Like I like reading as much as I can.
Yeah, granted, not to say no, because there are people they'll watch a movie and then read the book it's based on, but not everyone.
Exactly. Your main source, your main audience isn't going to care because they go to these movies because they want to watch Hugh Jackman cut up a bunch of dudes. They don't really, or because they think he looks hot, which he does.
Fair. Yeah, he does.
So, there you go.
Maybe, I don't know so much about that first one, but from the second one on,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't like this. It's kind of degrading to the fans that the longtime fans will read the book and bitch about it no matter what. It's like, not all the fans. Like obviously.
Part of that is true if you go on Twitter. Obviously, it didn't exist back then.
Yeah, and also this is 2001. Like comic books were still kind of a nerdy thing.
So these are the same people that their only way for their voices to be heard was to write letters. So these people would actually do that and write letters.
The letter pages and all that. There wasn't. Yeah, and people that like the book. I mean, if I read an X-Men book and I'm like, wow, I really enjoyed that. I'm not gonna feel the need to write a letter to be like, hey, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But if I read it and I'm like, well, that pissed me off, then I'm going to be incentivized to send them letters about how pissed I am. So it's like,
because you want it to be changed.
The loud minority.
Exactly.
Is that thing. So that's, I just wanted to read that little excerpt. There's like 7 pages of it, but yeah. So that really irked me.
Okay. Yeah. No, I totally get it after you reading that, because that screams of out of touch old men that only care about numbers going up. When they see it going down, they're like, fuck.
Yeah. Even though it's like, I mean, they go up and down all the time.
They really do. Yeah.
This is the first time in 30 years.
Oh, holy shit. Oh my God.
But you're actually reading this run right now.
I am. Yes.
So what are you thinking of it with that little?
So far I got through the Cassandra Nova arc.
Oh, actually, that is the E is for Extinction.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what was adapted for the X-Men '97 show.
Interesting, yes, which we will talk about in a little bit here. Actually, it's one of our topics. But yeah, I thought it was interesting because the show adapted that to go back and read a comic and be like, oh, the shit I just watched is in a book. That's really cool. And I thought it's very different because it feels like, well, at least this run, the E for Extinction storyline, it felt like an attack from the inside that I don't know how often the X-Men run into that, but I feel like a lot of their threats are either humanity and like the civil disputes that go with that, or like Apocalypse or Magneto or one of those big bads. When it feels so personal to them, or a lot more personal to them, especially to Charles. It was just really interesting, and getting the twists and turns where it's like, are we doing spoilers? We can spoil it.
Spoil X-Men 97?
No, for 20-year-old comic series. So.
Yeah, I think we can spoil that.
Just make sure. But yeah, so Cassandra Nova, she gets capped by Xavier with a fucking gun, semi early on, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, problem solved. And I was wiping my hands in my bed as I was reading the comic. I was like, we're done. But it turns out actually she transferred her consciousness from Xavier to her body. So Xavier is actually in Cassandra Nova's body, and Cassandra Nova is actually in Xavier's. So he goes and or she goes and fucks up the what's the Empire?
Genosha?
No, the his wife in space.
Oh, the Shi'ar.
Shi'ar Empire. There you go. Shi'ar. Yeah, he fucks them up, but then also does the Genosha bits. I guess that's before she transfers the consciousness. But
I just find it's kind of, and maybe not funny haha, but funny weird.
Ironic.
Yeah, ironic that this terrorist attack on Genosha happened like only a few months before 9/11. That's kind of,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in like summer of 2001 that this storyline came out.
Interesting.
So that, yeah, not great timing.
No, yeah. But then there's a lot of media you can look back on, and it's like completely unrelated. In the Super Mario Brothers 90-something movie, the live-action one with those actors.
Oh man,
they disintegrate the two towers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
and it's
funny.
so funny to watch it and be like, oh my god, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I don't really have much else to say about that comic because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
For you personally.
Yeah.
You're about what, halfway done with it, maybe?
I think so. I'm 135. Doesn't it go to like 146?
156.
150. Okay, so yeah, I'd say about halfway.
All right.
Good
All right.
estimate.
Well then, yeah, I will not say anything else. Piggybacking off of that, I mean, we've already mentioned it. You want to talk a little about X-Men 97?
Of course, I would love to.
I thought it was great.
I really enjoyed this show.
The animation was super clean.
Yeah.
I wish that Invincible looked like this. I mean, season 1 kind of did, but season 2 kind of fell off. But yeah, the animation on this show was amazing, especially for Cyclops and Storm.
It really was. I loved the unique way. Like, one of my favorite things were just like how they use their powers. It goes beyond just because in like some of the older cartoons or even the comics, he'll just blast dudes, and it's like, okay.
He was blast walking.
Yeah, yeah.
That was so cool. Like, I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen Cyclops do anything like that in any other media.
Or when he jumps out of the plane in the first episode.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how he didn't break his neck.
Well, there's a lot of things you can just look over because of how cool it looks. But so shit like that it's just awesome.
It was so cool. I thought they did a great job in the first 2 episodes building up how Storm is like their key player, just to like take away her mutant ability for the next 4 episodes. And then, like that was, I think that was a really good storytelling thing.
That's probably one of my favorite things about it, is it takes things like even the old show. I've been on a binge rewatching that. I'm on like season 4. The old show did a lot of really great adapting of stories. This feels like it takes all that and kind of subverts it in a way that you don't expect. So in a good way. You can have bad subverting of expectations. We've definitely seen that. But this I wasn't expecting a lot of twists and turns they threw my way, including Storm losing her powers.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I expected to see Forge because they released the episode titles and I saw Life Death.
Yeah.
I haven't actually read the 90s run. I just know that Life Death was a romantic story between Storm and Forge. I didn't know that she also lost her powers in that storyline. So I'm kind of glad I didn't read it because then it wouldn't have been as shocking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that's the only downside I think of having read so many comics is that like when it gets adapted, it like I already know 90% of what's going to happen.
I would say for me, I would actually say it's an upside. And the reason I say that is because, say, like Captain America Winter Soldier, when that movie came out, that actually like does adapt more than you would think from that comic, which I wasn't expecting at all because, well, when I watched it, I didn't even know it was a comic. But then when I read the comic, there were even like certain lines that they say are like ripped from that comic. And I missed when they would do that because me as a normal audience member who doesn't really go out of his way to read comics, well, at least I didn't. I'm doing better now, but I like to think I'm doing better now. But
I mean, you're reading a 2001 run.
I'm doing my business. So it actually kind of for me rolls back around though, and it's like when I read it and I'm like, oh, that's something I recognize. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know they got it from. It's cool seeing that and seeing the context of the comic versus how they adapt it and like clever ways that they change it. So I think that could actually invite people who don't read comics to be like, hey, actually, you know that cool shit you saw there? Yeah, they did it all the way back in 2001, but in different ways. Do you want to read how it was different? That's my dog. If you can hear that, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, maybe.
It's okay. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I wish it still was. Like movies and other media should pull from the source material.
Yes.
It shouldn't be the source material pulling from the adaptations.
Yeah, because that's when you get synergy, our favorite word. On this podcast.
I mean, prime example, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, a cartoon about the Avengers from 2010 to 2012, got canceled because it wasn't MCU enough, and they replaced it with Avengers Assemble, where the animation's way more flat, but all the characters have their movie outfits on, and it's just like, Sam Witwer in an interview talked about how Sam Witwer is a voice actor. He's done Darth Maul and some animated Star
Emperor
Wars.
Palpatine, many other characters as well, but those are
Star Killer,
his biggest ones. Yes, Star Killer. He was the main character there.
He was talking about how Dave Filoni, who made Star Wars Rebels, I know he also did Clone Wars. He did
Clone Wars. He did Rebels. He did Ahsoka. He did
The Mandalorian. Him and Favreau.
Him and Favreau did.
Okay.
I don't know if he came on later. Nah. Anyway, he was a part of it.
Yeah, so. Dave Filoni's like a big.
He's one of the people that if you like Star Wars, that's probably your poster child for creating good shit.
Like the Feige of Star Wars, basically.
Yeah.
Sam said that he talked with Filoni because he was doing a project and some of the details weren't accurate to what Sam knew. And he was like, Dave, like, should I tell them to change it? Yeah. And Dave said, no, like, it's good that they're different. Like, different adaptations, different versions are good. If you get just the same thing every single time, what's the point of going to watch that movie? It's the same thing I already know. What's the point of playing this game? I already know everything.
And in context of Sam Witwer, I would say that's how we got Maul to be as good as he was, because they just kept it how he was in that first movie where he said very little, didn't do much of anything. Now he's one of the best, most well-revered Star Wars characters because Sam Witwer is such a great voice actor and he brings that character to life.
Yes, he was allowed to be different.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why synergy, that word kind of stings us.
Yeah.
But X-Men 97, and they're kind of doing that right now in comics because of X-Men 97. A lot of characters are back in their 90s suit. It's like regression. Like
yeah.
But anyway, X-Men 97. The only criticism that I have for that show, and it's so small, just 2 more episodes. If they just made it an even dozen, because episode, what was it, 3, the Inferno episode, Fireman Flesh?
Yeah.
Like that was so rushed. It was so condensed.
It was, and that's I think my biggest issue, like yours, is I'm planning on rewatching it once I'm done with the original show.
Oh, to
Or-
binge it all?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
rewatch it.
I did that. It's very good.
It is okay. Because I'm worried that the pacing when I rewatch it will be because I watched it like probably episode by episode
Me
as
too.
it came out. Um, and I'm just worried that the pacing will be like, all right, we got this great storyline, and then we got another great storyline in the next episode that we're adapting that's completely different. It feels very like, okay, slow down just a little bit, you know,
I mean, I
just
like
to
that they
let
had
it
a
breathe.
yeah, let it breathe because it's so clinched.
Yeah.
But yeah, 'cause I did like that they had cool down episodes. Like they had episode 3 was
Yes.
big, episode 4 was like the Jubilee half
Mojo one.
episode.
I
and
don't
then
love Mojo in general,
I
at least in the
okay,
old
I
show.
liked it on the Mojo the character
The
or that
old
episode?
show are they're
Really?
some of the worst episodes in my opinion. They're just so like they didn't. Well, we don't
That
have to get
sucks.
into it. We don't
Yeah,
have to get into it, but
Mojo's
yeah,
really cool when done correctly because it's
yeah,
like he'll do whatever he has to get more money from his like he's like a Twitch streamer. He's an interdimensional Twitch streamer. In case
yeah.
you haven't seen X-Men '97 or any other media with
Or
him
read
in it,
read one of the
um,
comics or
he can like go into another dimension and he'll kidnap different heroes to put into his live stream for his audience to watch, and he'll like have obstacles or a maze or just a big tournament fight.
yeah,
um I like him in general,
yeah,
but you didn't like him
yeah.
in the older shows?
The older show they do, you know, when they do like, oh, the fat guy is fat,
Oh man, yeah.
and but he's also like the voice actor is just like "Rah, rah, 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 rah," like just
Oh,
speaking
annoying to
nonsense.
hear.
It's like like I it should be in the disgusting way, but it's all like I fuck you. Like I don't want to watch you, dude. You suck. I hate it. So
Yeah, that's kind of, I guess because I only really know him from comics. I don't
yeah.
hear that.
He's much better in Wolverine in the X-Men because he's in, I think, one part, but he's a lot more like creepy in the way like they
As
have
he
him in
should be.
shadow. Yeah, he
Yeah.
should be.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm
He
fine with
looks
him.
horrifying.
Oh, he is terrifying
Yeah.
looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 4, yeah, it was like her episode, and then Storm, and then episode 5 was the Genosha,
Yeah.
which pulled from the run Johnny's currently reading.
Yes. Yes.
And then episode 6 was Life, Death, and Charles, another cool down, and
Yeah.
then we got episode 7 and the 3-part finale. I felt like they did good in terms of that,
The
but just
structure. Yeah.
maybe if Inferno, because the finale got turned into 3 parts. If maybe
Yeah.
Inferno was a 2-part, what do you think that would have been better?
I think it would have fixed the pacing issue a little bit because you can adapt it and have it breathe as we both said. So I think adding a couple episodes actually probably would have helped it a little. But again, it's such a small criticism because it doesn't at the end of the day super matter that much. It's just one of those like I don't want them to it kind of feels like they're blowing through a lot of storylines when they could just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, you're watching the '90s show from '92. I mean, they had like 3-part, 4-part episodes all the time.
It could get really annoying at times, and if they avoid it being annoying, I'm fine with the pacing if it feels a little too rushed. Because if you drag out stories like they did, somewhat unrelated in the Spider-Man '98 show, they dragged out. I think it was like the Morbius episodes. It was so fucking. It took up an entire season. I think.
Oh man.
It was horrible. And they did throw in a lot of cool stuff like, oh, here's Blade killing vampires. That's cool. But
I mean, are they even vampires when they just have like little suckers
I don't
on
think
their
they
hands?
could call them vampires, no. But yeah,
they couldn't even call them vampires?
No, because you can't have blood and vampires associated with blood.
For those that don't know, Morbius is a vampire with fangs.
You've seen the movie though, right? You've definitely, if you're watching this podcast, you've seen the movie Morbius.
Oh, I Morbin love that movie, dude.
Yes.
But yeah, they couldn't have. Apparently, I didn't know they couldn't even call him a vampire, but he couldn't say that he liked blood. He liked plasma.
Yeah.
And he had little tentacle suckers on his hands.
Honestly, more horrifying to me.
Kind of scarier.
Yeah.
I mean because that you can just get touched and then
Yeah, and it's
drain in your
also
plasma.
just like, I don't know. You have the fear where it's like there is shit there that shouldn't be there?
What, in your hand?
No, just in general, like circles.
Oh no,
I realize I have a fear
that sounds
where
like ringworm.
when they group together. No, but it's like holes.
Oh, like trypophobia?
I think is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I think I have that because I'll
Really?
like my friend not too long, well, a little while ago actually, sent me a video that said like, if you're scared of this is what you have, and I watched it. I'm like, oh my fuck, like no, get that fuck off, like get that out of my face. It
Wow.
was horrifying.
So
And I was like, I don't know. So my point is with the little plasma hand suckers, when there's shit there that shouldn't be there, or when you have circles grouped together, I just fucking hate it. I don't know. It's just I can't.
it's just the look, it makes you uncomfortable.
It does. I don't know what it is. Like
Wow.
having holes in your hand.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want holes in my hand.
No. Well, yeah, but like I don't know. It's just it's weird to me. It just looks. It just I don't know.
I mean, this is also they did a lot of stuff in the 90s because like even on the Batman animated show, like Robin couldn't be a kid; he had to be like a young adult.
Yeah.
But they still I think they still wrote him as a kid, so he just kind of seemed whiny a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like a grown man. It's like a Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, Chris O'Donnell. Oh my God. The Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Good actor. If you've seen NCIS Los Angeles, not bad.
Who has?
I think it's Los Angeles. Well, my mom watched it a lot, so I obviously was forced to watch it a lot, But he's not bad there. He's really not that bad of an actor. Robin? No, it's not Robin.
I only know him as I've literally never seen him in any other movie.
He's not in super big roles.
Oh, he's more of a supporting actor?
More of a supporting actor.
Okay.
The only other thing I can think of is probably NCI Los Angeles and whatever the comment section tells us, because they probably love telling us what we don't know.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, I shouldn't say like it's his fault. It is the writing, the direction. Yeah,
they wanted to make him a 20-year-old man in the care of Batman.
Well, I mean, they're doing zoom-ins on his junk when he's suiting up. They kind of have to make.
You don't want that to be a kid, yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, I really have only good things to say about X-Men 97. Just wish it was longer. Wish there was more of it.
Yeah,
that's the only complaint.
Same here. Overall thoughts. Well, we already did overall thoughts. Future. What do you think they're going to do? Season 2.
So, because of the post-credit scene in that last episode, and because of the Genosha Ease for Extinction that they did in episode 5, I think they're going to do the Blood of Apocalypse. I don't know though, because here's my question.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to do House of M? Because that's right after Genosha, and also the Apocalypse stuff with Gambit is after House of M. Do you think they will?
Would you say it's darker than Cassandra Nova?
House of M?
Yeah. If the answer is yes, they won't.
I don't think so.
If they do it, like they'll probably. I hope they don't do like they probably. I trust the writers. They've given me and us. I say me as if it's my thing. They gave us like we know what we're doing. Okay, that was this season. I was really fucking worried that this would be like a. Let's just start on Disney Plus and look, like Hocus Pocus 2. Did you watch that?
I
fucking watched that.
Really?
I was. We went. It was like fall break. Well, my mom and her friends, they were watching it, so I'm just playing cards in the corner, like, ugh, no. But I was worried it was gonna be like that, like a nostalgia bait, which Disney is not adverse to doing. I'll say that.
I mean, streaming original movies or the new like TV movies.
The new, exactly, new Hallmark.
Hallmark.
Yeah, we all love Hallmark. That's another thing we love here on this channel. So you should subscribe if you want more of that.
Anything away from what we say, we hate Synergy and we love Hallmark.
Yeah, we're just gonna rename our podcast Synergy and Hallmark because of how much we love them.
But yeah, I don't know if House of M is darker. It could be. I mean, there's still because a lot of House of M. I realize we take things for granted, and people may not know. House of M is where Scarlet Witch basically had a meltdown over the death of her non-existent children.
Yes.
And that's a whole other topic. And then she decided that she was done, and she just said 3 words: "No more mutants." And
Yes.
she rewrote reality and stripped like millions of mutants of their abilities, which some of them, their mutant abilities are the only thing keeping them alive. Like there's one mutant, his name is Chamber, where basically his chest, like the middle of his torso up until his mouth, is just a fire that is always going. And so when he was depowered, I mean, he doesn't have a heart, man. It's fire.
Yeah.
So he immediately started to die. He doesn't have a jaw. He has no mouth. Like he started dying immediately.
Interesting.
But he was thankfully, around other people that saved him. But think of other mutants that weren't, and then just die, or they lose their mutant ability and they kill themselves. They're in a mutant hating, because I mean, being a mutant was written as being an allegory for a minority, for being a queer person, and so it's like you're in a place where people hate mutants. You lose the only thing that is able to keep you safe, and they just they would kill mutants.
Yeah,
So
because they can. So
yeah, just because they were different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on how they wrote it. It could be darker than Genosha.
It could be. So another thing, the show is not adverse to giving us dark stuff, and I really like that. So I don't think they would be adverse to that, but I think Cassandra Nova was just one of those like, you probably can't do that.
I mean, that's why they made it Bastion.
Yeah, or maybe they just wanted to do Bastion because they wanted to adapt that half of it as well, and they just got rid of Cassandra Nova, not as a like, oh, it's dark, but as a
they just combined the 2 events. They also, it was a 95, I think, storyline from the X-Men titles called Operation Zero Tolerance.
Okay, yeah.
And that was whenever he was turning everybody into like living sentinels. So I think they just combined it and then just made it Bastion instead of Nova.
I'm thinking that's what it was.
Probably because Nova's going to be in Deadpool 3.
Yes, he is.
Played, I think, I don't remember who's playing her though, but I know she's in something else.
She did 3. I thought it was. Is it not Fantastic Four? It might. I don't know. I might have to jog my memory on this, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember she was in something else though. But I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Apocalypse is going to make Gambit his death.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's going to make his other horseman, because in the storyline, The Blood of Apocalypse from 06, the reason that Apocalypse comes to the X-Men is because House of M, basically took the mutants from in the millions down to like the 198 is what they're called.
Gotcha.
And he's like, I am your salvation. I'll make mutants good again. Which I guess they could just have the event be the Genosha attack instead of House of M.
They'll probably do something like that where they'll combine stories again.
Yeah.
So.
But in that, his other horsemen are Sunfire and Polaris. Polaris is the daughter of Magneto. She can also control metal.
Do you think they would do Rogue and Sunspot? Because they're not adverse to going to the dark side. They kind of showed us that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think that'd be, because you can't. I mean, you can bring in Sunfire and Polaris.
But I mean, Polaris has already been shown in that. I think it was Forge's lab. It was a group photo of X Factor.
Yes, yeah, it has Iceman. That's all I can think of right now. But it has more. Yeah, it has other
Havoc
X-Men.
and Polaris and Wolfsbane from the New Mutants.
Yes,
that Sunspot was on.
Cannonball.
Cannonball. Yeah. I did find that interesting that like in X-Men 97 they had Sunspot join the X-Men, because in the 90s run, Cannonball was the only New Mutant that elevated to X-Men status. And it was actually in 95, I think after Zero Tolerance is when Cannonball joined. Because before that he was on X-Force with Cable.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I guess they just were like, well, we want to have a New Mutant, but instead of Cannonball, because I mean, it'll just be another white character with a bunch of other
Yeah.
white characters.
Yeah, of course, of
They
course.
chose Sunspot, who is
Yeah.
Brazilian, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Either he's Brazilian or I'm thinking of Magma, who is Brazilian, but he's Hispanic, and so
Okay.
I understand they wanted to um, dilute the
Yeah.
whiteness.
Yeah, probably. That would
Because I
make
mean,
sense.
like what we were talking about, who wants to just see the same thing over and over
Exactly.
again?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good that they're different.
It is. I think with Wolverine, I like Wolverine. I know you don't like Wolverine as much as I do, but
I like Wolverine on a team. I don't really like him
solo.
by himself. Yeah,
Okay.
solo.
They're probably going to adapt the Bone Claw storyline because in the comics, when the adamantium was ripped out of his skeleton, that's when they revealed that he had bone claws. That was the first time that appeared. I thought that was X-Men Origins. Then I realized, oh, it was actually Origins. And then I realized after this, it wasn't Origins. It was actually sometime in the 90s.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean that was the main appeal of Wolverine back in the day was that no one knew anything about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he debuted in 1974, joined the X-Men in 75, but no one even learned his actual name until like the late 80s.
Yeah.
And then no one knew anything about his powers, like, oh, is the mutant the metal a part of his ability or anything?
Yeah.
Now we know everything about Wolverine. He's not as
Again, stagnating. They need to find other shit to do with him.
Yeah.
Or bring in new characters, which they have.
Yeah. So you were talking about feral Wolverine and the bone claws?
Yeah, and as I was saying, once he gets those bone claws, he eventually starts to go feral.
He has that bandana on his head.
Yeah, and then he starts to lose his nose because he starts to look more like a wolf.
He starts to lose his nose?
He starts to lose his nose. It's really weird. The design is, I'm hoping they won't go all out with it, but knowing the quality of this show, go all out. Because if you make me like the idea here, which this doesn't really super appeal to me because he's basically turning into a feral animal, and I don't know how I feel about that. But because again, they've proven that you can take storylines that I didn't know existed, and adapt them and have them be really cool and interesting. Then feral Wolverine, sure, adapt that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like Marvel was really good in the early 90s, and then Marvel got really, really bad in the late 90s. And it's funny because DC's the opposite, where DC was bad in the early 90s and then got really good in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little funny switch.
Yeah, it is ironic.
Anything else you want to say about X-Men 97?
People are dogging on the animation. Animation looks beautiful. Anyone who's dogging on the animation, I love you, but also I don't.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't love you. I'm gonna say that. Animation is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, yeah. We need more 2D animation, and this was a combination of 2D and 3D in good ways, where certain aspects of it were 3D. And but yeah, I thought it looked great, and that's all.
Only thing I have to say is I love Morph. They're great. They're just a cameo machine.
Exactly. Yeah, it has so much potential for Morph to do more cameos and whatnot, and they did that actually. There's another thing. I'm watching the old show, and they actually were a cameo machine back then as well.
Really?
When they were put back on the team, yeah, they did. I can't remember some of the cameos they did, but I do know that they did do cameos with Morph, so I thought that was cool.
That is really funny. I've only seen a couple episodes of the last one, so I'm the last 90s show, so I don't know that much. Okay, gonna switch gears here. I think it's trailer time.
It is trailer time.
Do you want to watch Deadpool or do you want to watch Venom first?
We've been talking X-Men. Let's watch Venom.
Okay.
Let's watch Venom. Yep. We will get right back to you once we're done watching this, and we'll talk about our thoughts at the end. So I'll see you in a second. So Ashton, we are back from having watched the trailer. Ashton, what did you think?
I mean, I think it looks entertaining. I hope the movie is good. I don't have high hopes based on that trailer though.
Yeah. This is Sony,
Yeah.
so
But the Venom, Sony doesn't have a great track record. But the Venom, I don't know, because did you see Venom 2? Let
yeah,
There Be
I saw
Carnage?
both. Yeah.
What'd you think of? I like the first one. What'd you think of the second one?
I don't remember it because the only thing I remember was Tom Holland and Carnage died. That was it
Tom Holland.
in the post-credit scene. Yeah.
Hard? Oh, right. I misremembered the No Way Home tease that led to nothing. Yeah,
That
was
led to
very...
this trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, okay, and then we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we are going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's pretty forgettable. Let There Be Carnage. I just remember Woody Harrelson was great. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, miscast, but I agree. He gave it his all.
Maybe a younger Woody Harrelson. I feel like Woody was too old.
Definitely, if you were younger, if they had done more with like, okay, this is an aged version of, I don't know, like do something not like what you did, I guess.
And this is what we're talking about whenever, like, it's never like when a character in a movie's bad, it's not always the actor, like it's just
No.
the writing. He was written to be a younger person, more like he was almost Joker-ish, and just Woody's age.
Very, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he pulled it off that well.
I think it for me was the writing because I think his acting was fine. I thought he was believable enough, except for maybe his age, I guess. The issue is what they tried to pull the whole like romance thing with him and his girl, and like, oh, I actually do care. Like, I think this was the perfect opportunity. We need more, and I've said this to you off screen, but we need more villains that are fine with doing awful shit. That you get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. This was the perfect character to do that for.
Not every villain needs to be sympathetic.
Exactly. And they did the opposite.
And this was the worst villain to do it for because Cletus Cassidy, who is Carnage, he's literally like even before he gets the Carnage symbiote,
is a fucking psychopath.
I mean, he's in prison because he
murdered his grandmother and then like burned the orphanage down or some shit.
I don't remember what he did. I just remember it was a bunch of heinous.
I remember he pushed his grandmother down the stairs because to me that
sounds familiar.
It's very funny.
Yeah. But yeah, he was in prison for murdering a bunch of people. He's demented in the head, and then the Carnage symbiote just allows him to do more. It's not. I don't know. They just.
It's not how they did it. I don't know.
They just shouldn't have made him sympathetic.
I also hated the voice they used for Carnage. It's like this weird country accent where he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, boy?"
Yeah, well, because they made Cletus. Well, I don't know if it was Cletus.
Yeah, make him Southern, but like, why the fuck does the symbiote have to be like? What kind of what?
Probably just because
he was infused with his blood.
Yeah, I think it's because like Tom Hardy does the Venom voice, so they wanted Woody Harrelson to do the Carnage voice too.
I guess, but
like I feel like if they didn't, it would have shown that Venom and Eddie are so much more in sync. Yeah. They're voiced by the same actor, while Carnage, they're not super in sync. So it's two different. I don't know. I feel like missed opportunity.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
How well do you think this movie's going to do? Because they did Carnage in the last movie and the Spider-Man setup. Do you think this movie made 600, 800 million, I think, back at the box office?
Which is down from the first Venom.
Which is down from the first one. This will probably, in my opinion, I think this will be down again because they've shown, and we can talk, this is a good segue into this, No Way Home shit meant fuck all.
Yeah, okay, so in No Way Home, in the post-credit, so it's all just post-credit scenes, which is super annoying. The post-credit scene for Venom 2 showed Eddie and Venom being transported to the main MCU universe. And, well, I guess the main MCU universe is kind of one of those ATM
It's the 616 universe, right?
Yeah, no, well...
it's not the 616, but they want you to think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like the Miss Marvel actress, Iman.
Talking to her shit where she can.
Feige, it's not 616.
Yeah, calling him out.
Her.
Love her.
Yeah, so Venom got transported to the main movie universe and then licked a TV screen with Spider-Man on it. And then
yeah, he did.
In the No Way Home post-credit scene, Venom is like taking a notebook, writing about like Captain America and everything, and then gets sent back to the
Gets
Sony.
whisked away to his little Sonyverse back in the corner.
Yeah, and
Back
leaves
in
a
timeout.
little. That's what it should be.
It is.
Like, think about what you've done.
That's why they put this in this trailer, because they're like, fuck you, I'm in timeout. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want in this corner now.
Yeah. So, but before Eddie was taken back, a little bit of the Venom symbiote was left behind, and
Yes.
what we thought that meant was that that's how they're going to do Venom in the MCU. But
unfortunately, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was, something unique.
Set up, like.
But then in this Venom 3 trailer, they show the exact same bar shot. It looks like the same actor, or at least the same clothes. That
it is the same actor.
Really?
I've seen No Way Home an unnecessary amount of times, which means 2.
So they purposefully recreated it, and then they have their main bad guy trap that Venom symbiote. And so it's like, I don't know if it's ignorance that they didn't know that it was the MCU.
Sony likes to play dumb, but I know they're not that dumb. Like, if it was a deal with Marvel, they know what they're doing by putting this in the trailer. I feel like they do.
I mean, there's been the rumors that Marvel wants to make Spider-Man 4 kind of a ground level movie with Daredevil and Kingpin, and Sony wants another multiverse movie, because look how well No Way Home did.
And I'll give them that. It's the only thing they have, I think, at this point is
Spider-Man.
We need to claw away at MCU and then Spider-Verse.
I mean,
their biggest.
They branched out. They did an Uncharted movie with Tom Holland again.
A wonderful movie. Yes, I fucking hated it. So
I did not enjoy it.
I didn't hate it. It was fun.
It's fun to hate things.
It's fun to not hate things and say you hate things. Yes.
Well, also, I'm not a big Uncharted fan, so that's why
this was my like poster boy franchise. When I got a console, I think the Wii was the first console, then the PS3. That was the first game I played, Uncharted, and then Little Big Planet.
And you still thought that like it was fun?
The first one?
Yeah, Uncharted.
The movie. Yeah. So they mixed in elements from the games, which I think they're trying to tie this into that same continuity, so that doesn't fucking work. Because if you already did these things, then why does it?
Oh, they were touting it as like a prequel to the games?
I think. Oh, it's Sony. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't think they really care. Anything goes, yeah. So they'll have set pieces from the games, which were probably the biggest appeal of the movie. But my biggest issue was it felt like a watered down version of the games with a cast that not necessarily, they weren't unenthusiastic. They're just miscast.
Can I tell you why I think, or what I think the issue with the casting is?
Sure.
They're doing it not based on ability to act, but based on
popularity.
Notoriety. Popularity, just being known. Because everybody knows Mark Wahlberg, everybody knows Tom Holland.
Yes. And
I think it's the same issue like with Chris Pratt voicing Mario and Garfield. You cannot tell me that Chris Pratt was the best option. I mean, it's Mario and Garfield. You don't think they had like, dozens of people that were like, hey, I'd like to.
Well, they had the Mario actor on call because he was in the fucking movie as a character.
Really? I didn't see the Mario movie,
or at least an imitator. I think it was the original actor, and they wanted to do like, we're gonna do with Chris Pratt and do something different, but it's like the same. But it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is because it doesn't feel like it's done for the love. It's not.
Yeah, all I've seen from that movie is the part where he's jumping on mushrooms, and it's just Chris Pratt's stupid fucking voice going, "Mushroom Kingdom, here we go," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like it's not. He's not even doing Mario, and same with Garfield. It's just his voice.
Yeah.
And that's just like with Uncharted. It's the problem. Just they're not casting good actors. They're casting well-known actors.
Yeah. So back on Venom. I don't have much to say about this trailer other than it looks fun. I like the horse. I thought that was cool.
That was the best part. Yeah.
That they need to do more of that in these movies rather than they try to do like the MCU humor banter between Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy and
Yeah.
and generic as fuck action scenes. But you need to do more Insano style shit like that where you just go for it. Let's do a fucking Venom horse. We haven't seen that. What does that look like? Or I don't fucking know. Like something cool?
Just something original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like not another Skybeam that
no,
was
yeah,
in
fuck all
like
that. Yeah.
almost all the Marvel movies.
Yeah. But they're bringing the homeworld to him. But like, do audiences care enough about that at all?
I don't know. I mean,
Um,
I obviously not. Like it
no,
Venom 2, they didn't care enough to come back for that from the
no.
first movie. I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna come, especially because Sony keeps like what's the term, like saturating the market or diluting the market. They're
Something
putting
like that.
so much out there.
Yeah.
And it's all garbage. But like
It is.
yeah, like Madam Web and Morbius and Venom, and now they have Craven coming out.
They're
and
really
just-
trying to sell people in this universe that has no bones. The bones are flawed.
Now
The bones of this universe.
let
are
me
flawed.
ask you this question.
Yeah.
Based on like what the thing that we just said about, is it ignorance or are they doing it on purpose? Do you think, because I've seen this rumor,
No.
do you think that Sony is purposefully putting out all these Marvel movies so that people think that it's the Disney Marvel movies and then they just don't go see the Disney ones anymore either?
I think it is
That'd be a
because
big brand
they're
move.
losing more and more of a reason for them to have the license. I don't really want Marvel to have the license. I think they're doing good just cutting it. I think Sony with the license is fine because they've made good movies. They've showed that, like, I think this is my opinion as a Spider-Man fan. I think they understand the character a little better. At least they put it in the hands of people who do.
I don't. Yeah, it's not them. They don't understand Dick.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's they put it in the hands because Marvel is so like, we need this character here. They don't really care about the character or who it's going to in terms of the director. Maybe I think Feige does, but I don't think anyone over there at Marvel really gives a fuck about who it's going to for the director. I think they want to cut as many costs as possible, which is why they hire TV show people who haven't had much experience. That's a trend because I don't think they want to attach big names because they don't want to spend that money on big names.
Or do you think maybe they don't want to work on those Marvel projects?
I think it's both, where they don't want to like. Sorry, I got to clear. Jesus, I got to clear my throat. I think it's both, where they don't really. They want as many shortcuts as possible to the most amount of money, and they will do whatever they can to get that. Sony, at the very least, will take a gamble with like, okay, we'll give it to Lord and Miller. Holy shit, they made this. All right, keep them on. Yeah, keep that going. And then they'll do like, okay, we'll give this to this and this to this, and I think there's Sony Universe shit. Whatever, I don't care. Because that'll crash and burn.
It's a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. It's the same problem.
That's the core issue. Is there's no Spider-Man.
Did you ever watch the Gotham show?
Yeah, exactly.
It's this. It's like they're trying to do all these Batman villains, but there's
Batman's
no
a
Batman.
child.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what's the point, really?
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to talk about Venom anymore.
Yeah, fuck this franchise. Don't watch this movie, or do. I really don't care.
I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
I probably will.
I mean, I'm going to watch it. Probably not opening weekend. I'll wait for the reviews, and then I might go.
I'll check. Venom is like the only franchise I think it has bones. Venom on his own is fine. That works. I think he needs
Venom's whole thing. That's like having Bizarro without Superman.
So he needs Spider-Man to an extent, though.
To an extent, bro. His whole personality, his whole character.
I would say, well, he had his Lethal Protector series.
After Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
You need Spider-Man to set it up.
Yeah.
And do the heavy lifting there. But once Venom's out and about, okay, I did all that bullshit where I was like mad at Spider-Man, and then we figured it out.
Yeah. A Venom
then
movie.
You can do Venom. That's what Sony doesn't understand. They just look at like, oh, well, they had a Venom comic series, or with Madam Web, she was in a comic.
She was in a comic.
So people will care, I guess. I don't know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing because they haven't read these things. No one up there cares.
Fun fact, in the 90s Spider-Man show, Stan Lee's wife, Joan Lee, voiced Madam Web.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
She also, they together had a cameo in one of the X-Men movies. Was it The Last Stand?
I think it was the first one. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Apocalypse.
Because
it's when the missiles.
It was
I remember.
yes, it was.
That's the
X-Men
only thing I remember.
I remember
from that
them
movie.
looking up. Yeah, that was the only
It's
thing.
actually not true. That movie sucks, but
Apocalypse.
we're not gonna talk about it. All right. So next on our
Deadpool.
Next on our list, we're watching Deadpool. We will come back. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here, right?
Yeah, you're gonna hear us. There's not gonna be a cut for y'all.
Cutting in 3. We're
cut the fucking.
Okay, we're cutting. All right, so we just watched the trailer. Do you want me to go first this time? I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't like the Fox X-Men movies, but I do like Deadpool.
The Deadpool movies have been pretty consistent.
They're not bad. I think. I'm gonna piss so many people off by saying they're not as good as people say, but fuck it.
Wow.
My opinion. I think they're fine, right? I think the first one is good. It's what it needs to be. As a rated R movie, it did exactly what it needed to do, which is show the studio, hey, fuck you, we can make a rated R movie and it make money. The second one is fine, but it doesn't really push the boundaries, I think.
Does it need to push boundaries?
No, I think the turnaround on the movie was so quick that like it wouldn't have mattered if they did.
Which movie had the stuntman die? Was it the first one or the second one?
That was a
second one.
Which one are you talking about? The Invisible guy?
No, there was not in the movie. Like stuntman died.
I didn't know about this. So I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's the second one because now I'm remembering it was like the scene in the movie when they're on the prison transport thing and they're driving around the city. I think it was like a car crash, and I'm pretty sure a stuntman died.
Okay. Gotcha.
R.I.P. to that man.
Yes, rest in peace. This movie looks like I think what Ryan Reynolds wanted to make with maybe the second, but on a grander scale is what I'm trying to say. This looks like
I'm excited.
I am. If it's just, I know people are getting upset because like, oh well, you brought back Hugh Jackman, blah blah blah, all that.
Not the same version.
It isn't the same version. I can see what people are saying. It takes the steam out because that was his thing, kind of. So like him coming back.
What do you mean his thing?
It's like he had been that character since 2000, right? So people knew him as that character.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't really give a fuck about the comics. They watched Hugh Jackman in 2000 all the way to 2017, and when he retired, he was done. That was it. New actor or new character.
Yeah.
So I think by him coming back, it's less so the character, and it's more that he was so tied to the character in the movies that it's like it feels.
I mean, I get it, but like, I mean, this is the first time that he's ever been able to actually play a good, like, comic accurate Wolverine. I mean, I think he's even said that's why. Like, he was like, yeah, I didn't want to come back, but just like I couldn't pass it up. I mean, there was a quote whenever he first put on the suit, and he was like, "Why didn't we do this from the beginning?
Yeah,
like, this is perfect."
I think he said it like it felt right.
Yeah. So like I get it, but I mean, like, as you were saying, I also get people's frustrations with it.
I do.
But shut up, because it'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just consume. Guys.
And if it's not, I'm gonna kill myself.
You heard that here, folks. We're gonna start a new episode when it comes out and it's bad. That's it. That's the end of the show.
No, my only gripe is it's kind of annoying. Like, I wish, and this is a problem that I kind of have with the Marvel movies that are all connected. I wish it could just be a Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
But it's also an MCU movie because they're in the what's that place called from Loki? The
Void.
The Void. They're in the Void.
I think that's my biggest issue with it right now, if I'm being honest. Because the movie looks visually, like from a directorial and cinematography standpoint, beautiful. I love the way they frame shit. I don't like slow-mo. I don't like a lot of slow-mo, but they make slow-mo at least
Don't let
here.
Zack Snyder hear that.
I know, he'll probably come to my house and
slow you down.
make me watch Rebel Moon on fucking 2 times slower than normal, and that'll be horrible. But I think in the trailer, those are probably purposes for the trailer for most of those. But
Oh, so they don't have to show as much footage and drag it out. That would make sense.
But I think the issue in terms of the visuals, I think it's only the void that I have because they're fighting. It looks like a lot of the movie is going to take place in this empty nothing. That's just you got a Fox logo.
Oh, the desert.
You got a building.
Yeah.
You've got a giant Ant-Man. That looks cool.
I feel like it's going to be multiple different biomes within the void, though.
I really hope it is.
Well, because we saw like there was the city with them walking where Hugh Jackman sleeps. There's the like grassy, hilly area where Ant-Man's body was. There's that desert.
So I think the film is going to go like this. So I've seen Loki, so I kind of know you need to nab the guy. The void is where you get pruned by the TV agents and you get sent to the void. So he's going to find Hugh Jackman at the bar in his universe where there's no void. They're not at the void yet. He gets to the TVA, figures out some crazy shit. They escape.
I don't know if they escape. I feel like
I have a feeling they will.
Well, I feel like I guess it doesn't matter because either way they get pruned and get. I just feel like they're getting pruned in the TVA because there was like a shot from not this trailer but a previous trailer of Hugh Jackman on the floor looking up. Yeah. And I feel like, the main guy like had a broken nose and he was like he didn't tell you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What happened to his X-Men or something? But you think they're actually going to make it out of the TVA?
I think it'll be a greater thing because he says like when he's talking to Hugh, I don't know if it's in the minivan scene, I think, where he's like, "Oh, my whole universe is gonna die" or whatever. So I think they're pruning that universe because they've done that in Loki, right? Where they prune the universe.
Yeah, the whole timeline.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think they're getting rid of the Fox verse in general.
Oh yeah, Deadpool would not like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he wouldn't like that. So he's going to escape with Hugh. They're still gonna have some beef over what Hugh did, whatever it is he did to his X-Men or whatever. Yeah. Which is why he's like, why they're taking shots at each other in the void, where he's like, "Oh, that's the reason. Is that the reason your world went to shit or whatever?" But he's described it as kind of a planes, trains, and automobiles style. Really, I love that movie. Road trip style movie where they don't get along, but they go on the road trip and whatnot, and then they realize some shit with one of the characters. It's a great movie. You should watch it.
But yeah, I just wish it could be just Deadpool and Wolverine versus Cassandra Nova. But the fact that it's like because of Endgame, because of No Way Home, it's like
Secret Wars. Apparently, it's setting up.
Yeah,
big Secret Wars.
But it's like, we're not just the movie. We have cameos.
Yeah.
Vinnie Jones's Juggernaut. You have Sabretooth from the original trilogy.
Like I go crazy, I guess, because I think the Foxverse is, as long as you don't do like meme shit, I can't stand memes sometimes. They're funny, but good God, if I see like I don't even know what they would do for these movies, but that's why I'm more excited because I don't think when you tap into meme culture, what do you do? Like it's just weird to me.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Oh, fuck me. All right, yeah, let's do that. They're both apparently in the movie.
Ray Park, who also played Darth Maul.
I have no doubt if Ray Park's in this movie, 100% Halle Berry, Storm, and all those X-Men are going to
She posted an Instagram photo a while back, and she had her Storm
cut her hair, and then apparently she's been seen on set. Same with Famke Jensen.
Oh, who played Jean Grey?
Yeah.
I never knew how to pronounce her name. Famke?
Something like that. Yeah.
I've only ever seen it written.
Yeah. Famke. I think it's Famke. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
Yeah, she's not here.
Yeah.
I really would like this to happen. I don't think it will because Sony would not ever allow it. Andrew Garfield in Deadpool 3.
Oh boy.
Because Andrew and Ryan are friends. They've made out at the Oscars.
That's
tonguing each other full on.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. For me, I don't I know people want Spider-Man to be in this movie. I don't want Spider-Man to be in this movie.
Well, I don't care. I just Andrew Garfield.
It would be so another
not.
rumor I heard, and I don't think this is one of those like, oh, I heard from a guy that heard from a guy that Ben Affleck is going to be in one of the portals that he goes in as Batman.
Elektra's in one of the trailers.
They are not fucking doing that because that is DC. There's no fucking way they're getting away with that unless they're planning some greater partnership later on.
No, like Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
Well, this rumor said him as Batman.
Oh yeah,
no fucking way that's happening.
The only way I could see that happening is if it's just Ben Affleck in a suit.
Or Invincible, where it was like, so you're a guy who dresses up as a bat and it's in shadow. It's like where the creator was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not Batman.
Yeah.
And he can't say that it was because legal shit.
And that's what I was talking about with Andrew Garfield, where it's just him and he just is in Peter Parker clothes.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see it happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this trailer, it looks like Lady Deadpool is going to be showing up.
Yes, and Juggernaut.
Yeah.
As well.
Now, Vinnie Jones has said in an interview that he's not going to be Juggernaut, not because he wasn't asked. He said he was asked, but he just didn't want to do it. He said it would have been too uncomfortable. And now we see his version in the background of a shot. Can't see his face. Do you think it's actually going to be Vinny or like a CGI face?
Two theories from me. A, easy one, CGI face, because he's a background character, just throw him in there. They'll do like what they did with Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 2, where it was just a CGI voiced by Ryan Reynolds. But I'm pretty sure in this trailer you could see like the face region. It was obviously it was in the background,
blurry,
but it looks like on the helmet you can see it. So either they're CGIing him or he was fucking lying. And we're past like actors lying because Andrew Garfield again.
Yeah, but the way that they lied, Andrew Garfield was asked about Spider-Man, and he was like, "No, they haven't talked to me."
Yeah.
In this one, it was completely unprompted. He was just like, "Oh, and by the way, Deadpool, they asked me to do it."
I still think like
you're holding out hope.
Well, I just like there's no fucking way he's in this, and then they just didn't do anything with that. I don't know. To me, it'd just be like, what would be the point in dressing him up as that? Like, if you're gonna make him a CGI guy, do what you did in the last movie where he's big, classic Juggernaut. Don't do the weird fucking Last Stand Juggernaut that's no one
probably
likes.
Just because
it's recognizable, I guess.
I feel like it makes sense because the Fox. My guess is the Fox universe is pruned.
Yeah,
and that's why there's all these Fox characters returning, is because they're in the void.
Gotcha.
So I feel like that's why they had the Fox Juggernaut instead of the Deadpool Juggernaut.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I mean, like it's not like it hasn't happened before, like in Justice League where they just kind of touch up someone's face.
Yeah.
Or hell, even another Zack Snyder thing. There was who's that one child predator? Chris D'Elia, the comedian. Delia?
Sure.
I
don't know. I'm not sure.
I
think you're talking about Ezra Miller at first. And maybe. I don't know.
No, it was in the zombie movie he made, Army of
the Dead. Okay, yeah. I don't know then.
You haven't seen that movie?
No, I've seen Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's all right.
Tig Notaro's character, remember her? The one that was like leading the chopper or driving the chopper? How do you piloting the chopper?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like she was completely green screened in because that was a completely different actor. And then after all the stuff came out, then
replaced.
Like, they completely just CGI'd him out and then filmed her on a green screen and then just put her in.
Interesting.
So it's like it's not like it would be difficult to just have someone
honestly,
else make it look like Vinny.
Could, but I feel like it'd lose its like why even have him then if he's just not gonna be there? I mean,
the original purpose of a cameo is just just a couple.
Well, seconds. I know, but like with actually, it's probably not a good example. I was gonna say take No Way Home, but then with Lizard, they used a different. I don't even know if they used.
They just used previous footage from.
Yeah.
And that's another. They could just.
That's what I'm saying. They could do a CGI, but for me, this one you can see his face though, so it'd be like I don't know. To me, we'll see.
Yeah.
What about?
Funnily enough, the actor that played the Lizard in the Andrew Garfield movies, he's in Venom. Deadpool 3 or Venom.
Venom.
Oh, okay.
in the
I
road
got
trip.
it mixed up.
They're confusing people with it on purpose. I think
Yeah.
they know what the fuck they're
Yeah,
doing.
they have him in Venom, and then also they have the guy that played Mordo in the Doctor Strange movies.
Yeah.
He's in the Venom movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing
Sony's
all
shady.
this on. Yeah. Well, I think they're doing it on purpose. Like, hey, Marvel, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else to say about Deadpool?
Ladypool, who do you think it's gonna be? Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds,
yeah.
or they said it's not gonna be Taylor Swift, but like,
Oh, well, I don't. Yeah, I
who
would hope it's
cares?
not
I
Taylor
guess
Swift.
I don't know. I don't really give a shit.
It would be really, really fucking funny if it was just like a woman body double, and then they literally just put Ryan
Ryan.
Reynolds' face
Yeah.
on her, and it was his voice. But I think it is gonna be Blake Lively. What about you?
I was about to say second. If it's not Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, or
Yeah.
other way around. If it's not Blake Lively, it's probably Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but like I feel like it'll be her. I mean, what's she got?
I don't see why. Yeah, exactly. It's Ryan Reynolds. Like he is a big part of these movies. So like,
Yeah.
fuck it, throw her in. I guess I don't know.
Now I do hope Taylor Swift is in it because that would be really funny. I'd love to see her as the the X-Man Dazzler.
Dazzler, yeah, people have been theorizing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Last thing I have to say is just, I mean, it harkens back to last episode where I was talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
One of the stars, one of the writers, one of the creators of the show, Rob McElhenney, he is friends with Ryan Reynolds, and they co-own a soccer
something
club. I think. A soccer club over in the UK, and they have a documentary show called Welcome to Wrexham, and in that show, that he has a cameo.
Yeah.
And they did a funny like editing choice where they just had the whole screen black except for like circles around their heads because they were on the set of Deadpool. And in one shot where they were like in a green room or something, Rob McElhenney is wearing like a coat, but he's not holding it closed all the way, and you see he's wearing a TVA armor. Yeah. So he's going to be one of the TVA agents.
Yeah.
So that's just that'll be funny.
That is cool. I like when you bring in like, hey, this is my friend. He'll cameo in the film. Yeah. And whatnot. So I think that's fun.
All right. So we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. So Captain America 4 reshoots.
Yeah.
Is
also
our biggest thing.
Retitled. The original title was what? New
World Order.
New World Order.
And now it's Brave New World, which sounds like a Fisher Price tagline.
Yeah. I mean,
like
this is hot off the heels of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier having to redo their script.
Yes.
Because their original script was about a pandemic or something, and then when COVID hit, they just rewrote it.
Yeah.
And that didn't turn out great, and now they're doing this again, and it's just
yeah, they are. Yeah. So apparently with these reshoots, what I've gathered is that test screenings have shown that people don't like this movie. And that's usually what reshoots going to do is they'll have a test screening and audience says, hey, I don't like this, and they'll reshoot it and then replace it, do whatever they have to do for reshoots, and then it'll be in the final cut of the movie. With this, I think people have been giving negative reviews. At least that's what it seems like, because these reshoots are more than just, oh, well, fuck, we forgot to add that shrub of grass, and somebody was annoyed because that's their favorite shrub of grass.
And
I don't know.
It's happening concurrently with the Daredevil reshoots also.
Yes.
So that makes me think, these
and that was completely rebooted, I thought. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Completely.
This isn't to the extent Daredevil was.
Okay. Yeah.
But just because it's happening at the same time, it makes me think, I mean, is it because the movie was that bad? I mean, it could still be that, but I'm thinking after the writer's strike, these writers are getting more pay. Maybe they rotated the writer room a little bit and just maybe they're just trying to make the movie better with better writers. But it could also just be that it was total shit.
It's either one. And one thing that I think we should talk about is they're adding an Israeli superhero in this movie. And we're okay. We're not going to talk about the politics surrounding this because we're not going to take sides. But I will say this: this was horrible timing.
Yeah.
Horrible timing, because either way, whether or not you're going one side of the conflict or the other, you're dividing the fan base.
You're getting rid of half the potential.
Yeah, exactly. Because some people are really strongly opinionated. I'll say that. And if they add that shit in this movie, they're not going.
I mean, some people like they send death threats to like
Yeah.
actors that were villains. Some people cannot distinguish from movie
No.
and real life.
Yeah.
So this doesn't. I mean,
to me, it just and that's where I think this was the biggest thing that kind of made me understand what these reshoots were. This is not to make the film better. It feels like it's doing out of some sort of, I'm not going to say political agenda, because I don't know. And again, let me stress, it does not matter what you think about this conflict. I think it just matters that this character is even in this movie at all. It was just bad timing, and it to me screams more as to like the intent of these reshoots. It's not to make the film better. It feels like it's making it a different movie.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
And I just feel bad for whichever actor they get to play this Israeli
exactly.
hero, because I know they're gonna get.
They are going to get demolished.
Yeah,
absolutely demolished.
Like I don't know if anyone would even want to take. I don't know who would want to take this role, man. Maybe Gal Gadot.
That's
you know, she would want to.
That would be hilarious. That would be so funny.
But yeah, just I don't understand the appeal of it right now. It's like
I really don't.
Back in the 80s, they were like, hey, you know what this show needs? Let's put a Russian person in this show. Like it's just like it's bad timing. Like read the room, you know?
Exactly.
Like nothing wrong with Russian people, nothing wrong with Israeli people, but just the
we're not saying we're not taking sides here.
Yeah, and it's not just that, it's that on top of all the other stuff. The
Exactly,
Captain America stuff, like it's oh my god, it's been when this movie comes out, it will have been 4 years. But it's been 3 years since the Falcon and Winter Soldier ended. And it's like, okay, and nothing has happened.
And the last Captain America movie, solo Captain America movie, was 2016.
So almost a decade old. Like that's the problem I have with these MCU movies, is because they're trying to build such a overarching story. It's like
they tend to lose track of which franchises they want to turn into franchises and which ones they just want to, hey, this character's in this movie and that's where he's going to stay.
A sequel should not be more than 4 years later.
Yeah.
Even 4 years is a bit much, but like Doctor Strange was 6 years later, from 2016 to 2022.
Yeah, it was, yes.
I mean, the Iron Man movies were so quick. 2008, 2010, 2013.
Well, and that was early on, though, before it became like as big of a franchise as it was. It was already big, but
well, that's what they need to get back to. Just focusing on like, okay, we're gonna have 4 heroes get,
these but like, no, Hulk didn't go through with his franchise, and Hawkeye and Black Widow. That's because of Universal, but
well, because they didn't know if they were going to have Hawkeye or Black Widow. Wasp was actually considered to be in the Avengers.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like after though.
Yeah,
they didn't do much with them, except for in the movies that they were in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, poor Hawkeye. At least Black Widow was in Winter Soldier after Avengers came
Hawkeye
out.
got you forgetting the TV show. He got an amazing
TV show in 2021.
In 2021, when no one cares.
Yeah, like, and also the last episode came out when No Way Home came out. It's just like no one's gonna watch. I mean, I didn't.
The reason they did that was because the Kingpin thing, and then Daredevil as well, and it's just perfect timing that, hey, they're both in the MCU, look at that, but they're not going to be MCU counterparts. At the time, they weren't.
Well, we are running out of time, so back to Captain America: Brave New World. Red Hulk, Harrison Ford. What do you think?
Well, Harrison Ford doesn't have an opinion on it, so I don't.
Hey, Harrison Ford, do you like being an actor? Fuck off. I'm not a big Harrison Ford fan, as we've already talked about.
I am the complete opposite. I love Harrison Ford.
That's one of the few things that Johnny and I disagree over.
Yes.
I mean, the fucker couldn't even be bothered to grow a mustache. The most iconic like feature of Thunderbolt Ross is the mustache. And he's like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, I didn't even know they were going to get him for this movie. I thought that was all bullshit that people are just like, hey, you would be a good fit. It's like, are you just saying that? They actually got him though. So I don't even think like he's so old that like it doesn't really like he just got finished with an Indiana Jones movie and then they're
Yeah.
like, hey, we want you for this.
I mean,
He's like, fuck, okay. I
another
guess the role's small, so sure.
another example of casting an actor because of their uh of being well known over their ability. You know,
Yeah,
everyone knows
yeah.
Harrison Ford. Doesn't matter if you're 80
Exactly,
or
yeah.
80.
I don't think this feels like because they're getting Thunderbolt Ross back, they're getting the leader, they're getting him back. I think they said Hulk was gonna have an appearance. I don't know if that's happening because of these reshoots,
Oh my god,
but like it feels like their secret way of making a Hulk sequel, and that is not a good idea for a Captain America solo movie,
yeah,
especially with the lead Captain America actor being black. Again, not a great thing, right? To be like, hey, we're going to overshadow.
yeah.
Other than maybe Black Panther, the only other.
But I mean, but this is different. This is like
No, it
first of
is.
all,
I'm
it
just
doesn't have
saying these are.
black in his
It's
name.
just. Well, yeah.
Like Black Adam, Black
I'm just saying
Panther.
it's more things stacking on top of each other that
Yeah.
make this movie look more and more like, okay, what is the fuck is
And
going on?
I feel bad for Anthony Mackie, the
I
guy
do.
playing Captain America.
Did you hear that? The reason they have him in this suit and they gave him. You remember they gave him a cowl. They gave him the mask
at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah,
I heard somebody, and this is so I feel like this is their way of cheating it. They have that because they can put that on the Chinese poster, so as to not show them that there's a black
Wow.
actor. Which I don't know. Again, I don't know
How
all
are
the
you
regulations
gonna-
on China, but
well,
like
because they just don't like Chinese people. Don't like black people. I guess. Damn.
well, I think it's their government, which again, political. We're not going to
no, it's
super get into that,
I
but
think it's literally because of just over in China. I mean, they're a homogenous society, you know, communist, and they're
yeah.
all like, it's not like here, like in the U.S., we're kind of a melting pot.
Yeah.
You know, we got cultures from all over the world, but over,
okay,
I mean,
so
China, Japan, they're pretty homogenized, and so they like the same people that they see every day.
yeah.
I mean, they did the same thing with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. John Boyega, he was super upset about that. They like
Yeah.
cut
they
him
did.
out of all the posters for the China posters.
Yeah.
And it's just like, don't like sell your movie for what it is. Don't try and pander it. Because like, I mean,
Yeah.
what like they're gonna pay for the movie and then sit down and then see Captain America show up and be like, "Oh, fucking black guy! I'm walking out of here."
Which is the weird part, because like, why would you bait the audience into watch? Like, why not? Why even do that? What's the fucking point? I don't get it. Why even appeal to that market if it's not at all what?
Because I mean, once you buy the ticket, it's their money.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess
they're just trying to swindle them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just.
Do we want to put that in with the black? Do we want to? Do we want to? I'm genuinely like, I don't want to like, if they're Chinese people like watching our podcast, I don't want them to be like, what the fuck?
We're not saying like Chinese people. Chinese people in China.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if you saw my face. I was smiling when you were like, the new Captain, he's black, which is a bad thing.
Yeah, so we might have to do
a little bit of
when we look over this again, we might see.
That's why I was dead silent.
Yeah. I might have had to. I did clarify though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. That was not. It's so small now.
What the fuck is wrong with the microphone?
Hey. There we go.
Jesus Christ, can you hear us?
There we go.
No,
all right.
He cannot.
Now we'll get to that. Now, see, we got big spikes whenever we did
Okay.
the.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, I'm really excited for this movie, just for the concept of, you know, Sam Wilson becoming Captain America.
Yes.
I love legacy. That's why I like DC more than Marvel. It's just I love legacy, the passing down of a mantle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the fact that it's taken so long. I mean,
It really has. It's killed all the steam.
it's been 5 years, and the movie's not even coming out until next year.
Yeah.
2019
And
is when.
The unfortunate part is I really like his side of the story because that was probably the saving grace of the show because the rest of the show was so messy and like I didn't love it. But
I really wish the show could have just been him instead of
that's what I'm saying.
also
Yeah,
I just feel I didn't really care that much about the Winter Soldier stuff.
I didn't either. No,
Anyway,
it's because philosopher. Anyways, yeah.
fuck the show. That should have been Captain America 4. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the whole thing.
Bucky's in it. Have you seen the fucking reshoots of like he
Bucky's
has like
gonna
a
be in this new
goatee?
movie.
Yeah, he's just
Oh
looks
my
like a
God.
normal guy in a fucking normal suit.
Yeah,
He looks like a CIA agent or something.
Marvel should not have done any of the shows. They should have just had them all be movies,
Yeah.
or like specials, like the Halloween special, Werewolf by Night.
But they're getting rid of the specials. I don't know
rid of the specials.
The best thing that they had because these stories aren't interesting enough to garner 6-hour TV shows.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're not. So some of them need to be delegated to 40-minute specials or 2-hour movies, depending on the project. And then they got rid of the specials, and they're doing less on the TV shows. And they're not even really TV shows, at least in a normal TV show sense. It's just like a 6-hour movie.
Yeah, it's a 6-hour movie where every so often fade to black for credits. I mean, that's just. But yeah, I think just our final thoughts.
Well, real quick, the one thing they're adding to this that I actually don't mind is the old suit.
The white suit over the blue? Yes. Yeah. I very much because and that's the thing I like about Legacy passing down the mantles. Yeah. It's the same name, it's the same basic suit, but it's unique to them.
Yeah.
Like his white suit is unique to him. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm just gonna wear Steve's old suit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this new one looked like, is just basically a homogenized version of the older Captain America suit.
Yeah. But with these reshoots, it seems like they're going back to the white suit.
Yeah.
Which I prefer.
Which is like, how the fuck is that gonna work? Is this like, this is my worry, is like, is this suit even meant to be in the movie at all? The old suit.
That one we have pulled up on the screen?
Not this one, the old one. Was that even, or are they reshooting that? Yeah, the white suit.
I don't know. Maybe not. That's what makes me think. I feel like they had him in the blue suit because, you know, they like to have a new suit every single movie for the toy sales.
Yeah.
They had him in this new suit that's blue. The test audiences were like, I mean, he just looks, I mean, like, that's the thing. It's just Black Captain America. Same suit, same shield, same name. Yeah. And they didn't like that, hopefully. And now they got him back in his own suit, white.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know.
Well, and that's the other thing is, like, do you think the main market will even, because we've seen the MCU, right? Not everyone watches the TV shows, though. Do you think people will even give a shit about this movie because they don't know what the fuck is going on? They're like, oh,
I don't think so. I don't think anyone gives a shit anymore after Endgame is where the general audience jumped off. They were done.
I think so, yeah.
Because everyone really only cared about Iron Man.
Yeah.
RDJ.
Well, and some of the other actors as well, but Thor fell apart. And
Thor fell apart. Chris Evans was done after Endgame. RDJ's done after Endgame. Jeremy Renner is done after Hawkeye. It's really just Mark Ruffalo. Scarlett Johansson's done after Endgame. It's really just Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, she fucking died, and then they made a movie, and I watched that movie for my fucking birthday, and it was bad. Sorry.
But, yeah, it just, I feel like no one really, the general audience doesn't care anymore, and that's why they need to stop trying to pander to the general audience.
Yes.
Pander to the audience that's still here, that likes you.
Yeah.
Don't focus.
If you're going to put all your cards in trying to make these feel unique and different, make them feel unique and different.
I just learned a term because I just recently started investing, and so I learned this term, and I think it fits really well. They need to not focus on growth; they need to focus on value. They keep trying to grow, they keep trying to get a new audience, and they need to stop. Take the audience you already have and build with that. Build with that audience.
Because then you will get. That's how you've gotten like people who watched the Fallout show now want to go play the fucking games.
Yeah.
Because they took that and
they made that show for the game lovers.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, and it was a just solid show like for regular people.
Like The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like they cared about value. They made the show good for the people that played the game. And then even if you don't play the game, it's still good because the game is good.
Yes.
I don't know why they take an IP and they're like,
let's make it not like the game.
yeah, it's popular for some reason, and it's like, well, it's popular because it's good. Don't change it.
Fucking
Like,
play the
adapt it.
fucking game. Yeah.
Yeah. So just, I mean, our final thoughts on this. Hope that it's good. I'd
Yeah.
love for it to be good.
I would too.
We're
not here to hate on it, but like,
no,
it just looks too messy for its own good. You know?
It looks so messy. That's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're kind of creeping up on an hour and a half, so I think we're gonna end it here.
We were going to talk about some of the other topics like Superman, Batman, but we figured we're creeping up on time, and they are kind of old topics, so.
Yeah, not really much new information has come out.
Yeah. So we'll just wait for all that new juicy information, and so that'll be the end of our second episode. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bit of a clearing up, because last episode we didn't know which platform we were putting this on. We are putting it on YouTube for sure, and I think that'll be our main platform. And we still may or may not do the others, but YouTube is going to be our main platform.
Yeah, we're going to try and just take it one step at a time with this. Yeah. I mean, this show is mainly just for us because we like talking about our interest. We like hanging out, and then we just decided to also record it. So we're just taking it one step at a time. Going to try and not fill up our plates too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, except for that, I mean, we got a really cool deal with that studio.
Oh yeah,
great.
Yeah, and then they just fired us. But one step at a time.
I mean, they shouldn't have given us $4 million. That's kind of on them.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't know what they expected.
Exactly. You don't think we're just gonna blow that all in the intro?
But yeah, thank you so much for listening, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.